Chairman Hovland and Vice Chairman Udall, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. And I want to introduce Jeannie Hovland in just a minute, but thank you for their attention to this subject. I think preservation of our language and culture is such an important part of our country's heritage, and so I appreciate your focus on this. And for giving me the privilege of being here today to introduce a former member of my staff and the current Commissioner for the Administration for Native Americans at the Department of Health and Human Services, and that's Jeannie Hovland. Before I say a few words about Jeannie, again, I want to thank you both and your staff and the members of this committee for your efforts during the confirmation process and getting her installed in this important position. Jeannie Hovland is an enrolled member of the Flandreau Santee Sioux tribe. She joined my staff in 2005. That was a great find for our office and for me and for our staff. And during much of this time, Jeannie led outreach efforts to Native American communities and with tribal leaders across South Dakota. And with 9 tribes spread across the state of South Dakota, this was no small task. I'm sure if you asked her, she could tell you the fastest route from Sioux Falls to Standing Rock or from Mitchell to Mission. But she spent many early mornings and late nights on those roads, putting miles on her car and sometimes spending time away from her children to ensure that folks living in tribal communities heard from us, and more importantly, that we heard from them. Over the years, I consistently heard praise from tribal leaders about Jeannie's hard work, praise for her presence at tribal council meetings, visits to tribal programs, her oversight work on federal programs that are operating in tribal communities. And over time, Jeannie also became an important policy advisor and helped inform my work on tribal issues here in the Senate. She left her mark on many important bipartisan legislative items of note, including the Tribal Law and Order Act and the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act, just to name a few. But I think maybe most important, and the thing that often gets overlooked, were the words of thanks from individual tribal members who Jeannie helped. Tribal veteran needing assistance working through the bureaucracy at the Indian Health Service or the VA.